All right, time for lunch, so let's get over to the kitchen and say hello to ABC7 Culinary Director Judi Gallagher. Hi Judi, what's cooking today?
Hi Scott. Well, I decided I would do brunch for dinner. Looking in my refrigerator, I found some really good things, plus sirloin steaks were on sale at Whole Foods for $5.99 a pound. Great price, so I decided to get a sirloin steak. That could feed 4 people for a brunch item. So we're gonna bring that together with some sweet potato hash, onions and mushrooms, and lots of good flavors. And then I'm going to show you a couple alternatives if you didn't want to do the meat, but we're going to make these beautiful brioche sandwiches. And I say you could eat this any time of day. So stay with me throughout the hour. We're bringing you brunch for dinner with steak and eggs, brioche style.
Let's get back to the kitchen now and check on steak and eggs for breakfast or lunch.
I like how excited you were, Scott. Okay, I think Luna would like this recipe too. So I've sauteed some onions, chopped sweet Vidalia onions, and now I'm going to add some button mushrooms and some shiitake mushrooms. Oh, now this, if you wanted to just keep it vegetarian style, you could just do a combination of this and the eggs on top on the brioche beautiful. But we're going to do some steak and eggs. And so I have the pan heating with oil and butter. I've seasoned this with garlic salt, black pepper, and a little truffle salt. Little olive oil and a little butter in the pan. That butter is going to give it that, you know, that Ruth's Chris factor of that richness. And the oil keeps the butter from burning. So let's come back over here. And what I want to do now is add one of my favorite seasonings, truffle salt. I get the little packets, as you probably know, over on St. Armand's Circle at the Spice and Tea Exchange. That way they're always fresh. You get a couple packets, and boy, do they make great hostess gifts. So once the mushrooms just start to cook down a little bit, we're going to add some parboiled sweet potatoes. I have the skin on them because these are the fingerling size sweet potatoes, which they have, you know, sweet potatoes have a very thin skin and they will get so tender. So it's kind of all these years that people always peeled sweet potatoes, and now we can have them just as they are and get in those extra nutrients. Salt and pepper again, layers of flavor. We're going to keep our eye on the steak. It's going to take about probably 4 minutes on the first side and maybe about 3 minutes on the second. I'm just kind of pushing it down there in that butter and we'll let it go. In a few minutes when we come back, I'm going to add these beautiful organic yellow, orange, and red grape tomatoes, and they are so sweet. It's like eating candy. We're going to add that to the pan, finish it off with some spinach, and let's crack a few eggs so we can make it into a breakfast steak sandwich, because that just elevates it. I'll be back in a few minutes for more cooking.
Back to the kitchen now. Judy's cooking something very good that you can eat for breakfast, lunch, or how about dinner too?
Got it. And I have a nice big sandwich for you. Okay, so we have the hash just about done. They made it with sweet potatoes, onions. I have those blistering baby grape organic tomatoes. Now we'll add a little spinach. And the spinach in with the shiitake mushrooms is just going to give it some really nice flavor. Once the spinach goes in, you can just shut the burner off and it will wilt just what you need it. So over here, let's go ahead and crack a few eggs and we'll get those cooking. By all means, you can scramble them up. And kind of the trick is, in there, see, I did one. That worked out well. If the egg breaks, don't worry about it, and you can break them all, because you don't necessarily need a runny yolk with a breakfast sandwich, because it's going to get really messy. Now, since I'm going to go ahead and spread the yolks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to add a little bit of sun-dried tomato. Give it that extra little kick up with this flavor, which is really good. A little bit of that oil in there. Now, I happen to have some fresh figs at home, and I think that fresh figs and Boursin cheese are just perfect. You have somebody that doesn't eat meat, by all means, think about the figs with a balsamic drizzle that's been reduced in the Boursin cheese and a couple of fried eggs. Ooh, that is going to be so good. Or again, you could just use the hash without the steak. But because we are cooking with the steak, what I did was I took the pan drippings and from the steak, and I poured it right into this mixture as well. As you can see, I've already sliced the steak. I let it rest, a perfect medium rare. So that was it ended up being about 3.5 minutes on the first side and about 3 minutes on the second side. You can just feel it with your hand. You know that right where it's the softest in your hand, that's what it feels like for a rare to medium rare. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back, and I'm just about ready to feed the guys some brunch for dinner whenever you want it.
I'm having some of your sweet potato hash there. It's just absolutely delicious.
Lots of flavors,
oh my gosh,
right?
It's great.
Texture's good, good.
And the burger, I love this burger. Tell us, no, it's not quite a burger.
So it's sliced,
sort of
right,
like a burger.
sliced sirloin.
Yep.
Just pan-seared it with a little butter, sun-dried tomatoes, and a fried egg on a buttery brioche roll. I mean, come on. That could be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and that's what we'll be having tonight for our dinner.
You know what they do in Australia?
What do?
They put a beet on top of that.
A beet? I could do it.
Egg, steak, and beets.
Yeah. I could try that.
It's like
I
a
like
whole
beets.
meal on a bun.
Yeah, I like beets. All right, go for it, buddy.
Go to our website, mysoncoast.com, click on the dining page. It'll take you right there. Come back here.
I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen.
Enjoy my lunch. Judy, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Scott?